Fire Radio.
Hey everyone, Jeremy, National Fire Radio 2024, the first recording of the new year, and it's with a dear friend, somebody I've gotten to know now over the last several months, Ashley Ross from Fire and Safety Services out of New Jersey. They are the New Jersey Pierce dealer for apparatus, and as you know, National Fire Radio does a lot in the apparatus industry. We do our apparatus innovation content. We talk to different departments about their builds. We share the tips, tricks, and hacks of how people are building the apparatus. And that's how this conversation came to be, which turned out to be an incredible project that we started working on in 2023 with Fire and Safety, Ashley and her team, which now has finally been released. It's been hush hush. She's been holding me with a gag order to not talk about the project until we could release it in January. Ashley, welcome to the podcast. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you. I'm excited to be the first one of the year.
It's always fun to have friends on, right? So like you and I have gotten to know each other. I want to tell the Augustino story in a minute because I think it's just relatable and personable. But, you know, you and I have gotten to know each other over time. You know, Dave Russell, the owner and operator of Fire and Safety, has become a dear friend of mine. Which is he's a guy that has supported myself and National Fire Radio, the team, from day one. He sees the value in kind of modernizing the standard approach that the fire service typically, you know, stands behind. And I like to think that we're one of the leaders in that space where we're trying to modernize the delivery of content and information to today's fire service. And so Dave's been a huge supporter from day one. We've done a lot of projects with you guys. In fact, this past year in New Jersey at the conference, we worked together on shooting content and so on. But you had this great idea that you came to me a while back. I'd say probably 6 months ago or more.
Yeah.
And let's talk about this project that we jumped in on together.
Sure. So we had been wanting to do a calendar for a long time. So we actually always distributed the Pierce calendar, which we were lucky with how many amazing trucks they put out every year if we're able to get in once.
Right.
So we're actually just hit in 2024 60th anniversary. So in celebration of that, we figured, you know, we've been asked for a long time to do a calendar. We love the Pierce calendar. It's a beautiful calendar. It's really well done. But we do find that our customers don't see a lot of the trucks that they would build in that calendar. So we had been asked for a long time to be doing a calendar. So we figured why not for our 60th anniversary to do 12 Pierces or more in a calendar. So we had been thinking about this for a long time and finally pulled the trigger on it. And when we were thinking about a calendar and doing 12 New Jersey Pierces throughout the state, you know as well as anybody, the story behind the truck is sometimes even more important than the actual image. So why did they build the truck the way they did? What kind of calls, what kind of terrain do they work through? So for us, it was really important to tell that story. And this is unrelated to the industry, but I always watch Vogue magazine's 73 Questions, and it just kind of gives this full scope of a behind the scenes look. And I came to you, you know, and I came to Dave first. And as you know, Dave's a really big advocate for the industry and sharing information and creating resources for customers everywhere, not only in New Jersey. So I said, I really want to give a behind the scenes look on how this calendar came together, why these departments build their trucks the way they do, how their department operates. I'm not the one to tell that story. There's only one person that we know of that we would trust with this project. And so Dave was like, go to Jeremy and see if this is something that he thinks there's something there with this. So that's kind of started in the beginning of 2023, and here we are.
You know, it sounds so simple, right? The calendar's hanging up behind you in the you know, in the shot, and it sounds so simple that, hey, we want to create a calendar. I mean, anybody can put together a calendar, 12 months worth of 12 different pictures, 12 different months. You put the work schedule on, the different work schedules on there, holidays on there, information about your company. You package it up, cellophane, send it out the door to your customers. Maybe you sell a few and so on. But when you came to me with this project, the idea was to take it to the next level. It has to be representative of what today is. And too often, manufacturers and industries rely on polished content delivery. They spend so much time on putting together the perfect picture of a fire truck, which people scroll right by when they have, 5 seconds of attention. And so the idea was, hey, every firehouse hangs these calendars up because of the work schedules, because of holidays, things like that. So these calendars. And when you go around New Jersey, you know, fire and safety being such a large distributor of the Pierce product in New Jersey, there's a big footprint for you guys here. And so your calendars are hanging up in so many firehouses across the state. And so you see them all the time. And so the traditional value of the calendar was important, but then we said, how do we modernize it? Right. And that was the fun conversation you and I had in the beginning. Was you came and said, hey, we want to do a calendar, but we want to do something a little bit different. And I wrap my brain around it. And I'd like to think at National Fire Radio, we're storytellers, right? We get to tell the story. Too often, people are quick to judge apparatus based on the look without getting the story.
Exactly.
Story matters, right? Because when you're building fire apparatus, you're building apparatus for your first due, the way you operate, your staffing, your water supply, all these different things that go into the fact of how we build apparatus. And so when we don't have the opportunity to tell the story and we just print a picture, people will have all the opinions in the world. They always will. But at least let's tell the story behind why that truck is designed the way it is. This calendar is super cool because it's representative of so many different aspects of the product line that you guys sell, because there's such a wide offering and apparatus between engines and aerials and rescues and specialty equipment. And then you break that down even further: rear mounts, mid mounts, walk-ins, walk-arounds, top mount. I mean, so you guys, I mean, Ashley, I can't even imagine the project it was to go through and select the photos that you did, but they had to be representative of the 2022-23 sales that you guys had right across this, and then to represent, basically try to represent different regions of the state too.
Yeah, so we put together a committee. So when we finally decided to pull the trigger, we put together an internal committee and we went over every single truck that basically got sold between a 12-month period.
Right.
And it got looked at by region, territory, what kind of calls they go on, the truck builds, truck type. Was it a stock build? Was it a build my Pierce build? I mean, it was hard and it was tough. There's a lot of great trucks that we put out. We're proud of
Sure.
all the ones that we helped build. So, you know, we really wanted everybody to understand this was a tough narrowing down decision. But, you know, we really felt like we kind of covered all of our bases through the 12 trucks. And then we connected with a photographer, Adam Alberti. He's a retired career battalion chief in New Jersey. And he really helped bring our ideas to life. I mean, we got to shoot everywhere from a horse farm to a PSE&G lot. I mean, we really wanted the backgrounds to represent the type of calls that these trucks go on. And thankfully, you know, every truck has a different story. Every single one. No truck is alike. I think you know that more than anybody. And we were lucky enough to, you know, partner with departments that really were excited to tell that story. And I think for the calendar, it was about giving us 360 view. I mean, when you see the calendar behind me, you're really looking only at one angle.
Yes.
What does the hose bed look like? What does a pump panel look like? Why did they build their interior cab the way they did? Why they do their tool mounting the way they did? So for us, we put a QR code on there that they can access to all this content that gave not only content, but context to why they built the way they did. And honestly, like, I think that made the calendar come to life.
Oh,
So,
I agree 100%. And that was really the conversation. I didn't mean to cut you off, but
yeah.
that was absolutely the conversation: was how do we modernize the standard approach to a calendar? And that was, I said, let's get a QR code on there where people can scan it. So every day when that's hanging up in the day room or in the apparatus bay or in the chief's office, they can scan that code and it takes them to a landing page for each month. And each month then is broken down by the behind the build video, the behind the department video, along with still photos and other information, along with drawings of the truck and so on. So what you guys did was created a digital footprint and library based upon each build for 12 months. And what's really cool about that is, break it down, but we only released the January video the other day, and we're talking tens of thousands of views already on different channels. The content then gets broken up into short form and long form, so it can be delivered across all different channels of distribution. That's what matters. That is how today you go after the American Fire Service, and the attention that they're bringing is go to them on the channels that they're at. And you guys recognize that. And more so, Ashley, you're a huge proponent of that. And I think that this project right out of the gate has been a huge success.
Yeah. So I handle all the marketing for fire and safety. I've been in this industry for a few years now. My husband's a career firefighter. I love working with firefighters. I think that the industry is incredibly progressive right now. There's so many firefighters that follow us, whether they're customers or just fans, and they're so invested in the technology and progression of the industry for themselves, for who comes after them. So, for example, with Lakewood, we Chief Yar was the perfect chief to start off with for this project. He is so passionate about apparatus design, and it was a great day and it just flowed. And I think for us, it's about organic marketing. We're not interested in pushing down anybody's throats. We create resources and tools that departments and customers, fans, followers can gather homework and do their research. So, what we're doing with the calendar, we do in production updates on our website every day, every week, so that everybody can download individual images, whether they say, hey, I like that bumper. I like the way they set up their pump panel. Downloading new drawings from new orders. So for us, it's about like, and Dave is really the one that leads this. He always says there's a lot of great fire trucks out there. We're not the only ones.
Right.
And if we can help departments not only in New Jersey and or across the country build their next great fire truck, like then we've met our goal. So for us, it's partnering with great people that can put this type of content out there. All we want to do is give that knowledge. And I think through this project that we're doing, we've been able to do that and creating like really great resources and homework. I mean, like you and Chief Yar said at the end, like do your homework. It's so important. So for us, like I'm excited to see like what happens, like what comes out and how people react to this. I mean, we've already had so much positive feedback to the behind the build, even the small clips that we've shown so
Yeah.
far.
Yeah. You hit it on the head, right? It's education.
Mhm.
You're not there. This is an appreciation gift back to your customers, right? This is your 60th anniversary this year of fire and safety. Dave and his family, they've been running this company for so long, and they bring so much to the fire service, not just regionally in New Jersey, but nationally. Dave's involved with so many different organizations, a lot of different boards, and so on. So his influence is felt across the industry. And I also think too that there's premier dealerships across the country in different regions that are standouts. And so people are watching, and it's not just a regional thing. It's not just New Jersey customers that can reap the benefits of what you guys have put together. You've created a national program where you're educating people about the builds that fire and safety and their customers have put together. That's a win, and it's done through education. You said it yourself. This isn't to you know um, to funnel information into you to try to sell a truck. This is just to educate across the board. And I think that's how we win. When manufacturers, distributors, different content creators, when they understand that this industry is built on bettering the industry by pushing it forward, by sharing their knowledge and experience, that's where we win. And you guys subscribe to that. I know you do. I know Dave does. And that's what the win is here, is educating people about how other departments have built their trucks. And it might give somebody the opportunity somewhere else to say, hey, that's a great idea. That's something we never considered before. We might want to do that. That Lakewood engine, Chief Jonathan Yar out of Lakewood, New Jersey, what a great January kickoff for the calendar.
Yeah.
Chief Yar is an apparatus guy. He knows his stuff, but he's also a fireman's chief. He's a fireman's chief, meaning he still talks, he still walks, and he loves the job, and he's into the job. And when you watch the different videos with him, we do two different video types. We do behind the build, which is where we break down the apparatus and we walk the apparatus. So we start at the front bumper, we end up back at the front bumper, and we go all the way around the truck 360 degrees, talking about the different build considerations, components, things they thought about, things they would do differently, all these different things. And we explain why they built what they built. And I think that that's a big part of the conversation. We have to get back to that and understand what we're doing. The departments need to lead a lot of the conversation when building apparatus, and we can't stress that enough. Do your homework, right? The second portion of that is the behind the department videos collection that is about talking with the chief or the representatives on that truck committee or people from that department to get a better understanding of the department itself, right? It's hard for somebody to understand why somebody built a truck the way they did without understanding the makeup of the department: career, volunteer, combination, short staffed, heavy staffing, water supply, no water supply. So these are all factors. And so when we do the behind the department video, It's not as sexy as the walk around. You know, everybody loves the trucks, right? But the behind the department video is super important because that video series paints the picture of why. It's not just operationally, but fundamentally who this department is, who this fire company is, what they stand for, what they represent, who they're made up of. These are important parts of the equation, too, that when you put all these pieces of that puzzle together, you end up with the end result that's on the cover of the calendar.
And I think for behind the department, it's such an important conversation because there's so many nuggets of wisdom that I felt like came out of that one
Yeah.
conversation. Something that really sticks with me that Chief Yar said is that we grow with the community. We don't expect the community to basically mold to us. And I think that can be related everywhere. So, like you were saying, whether they're looking at the calendar and they're seeing the stats on the calendar or the 360 shots, and, a department in Ohio is like, hey, we actually operate the same way they do.
Yes.
And then they get to go on in the comfort of their own home and their own personal time and watch these videos and like go back to their committees or their departments and say, I think there's something there for us. We hadn't thought about it like that. And for us as a company and as a dealership, we're trying to grow with the industry too. We don't expect them to stay where we are. We have to be respectful of that. And I think giving these conversations time on social media. I'm sure as you know, we have different audiences from Facebook to Instagram to LinkedIn, and they're all in it maybe in a different thought process. But for us to be able to share these things everywhere, I just think is, you know, it's just awesome to see it because it's been such like a conversation in the works. And I think there's so many good nuggets of information and things being said in these videos. So I just hope that, somebody takes away something and it goes into whatever truck they build. And that would be awesome to see in 2, 3 years that they kind of strung it back to something that they saw this year.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's fun too for you, right? As the marketing manager, right? The marketing guru of fire and safety, and how you've taken your company's social media over the last 2 years, right? It's been what, about 2 years?
Yeah, I just hit 2 years in November.
So how you've taken it from where it was to where it is today, it's a model that I think a lot of other distributors and manufacturers need to follow. They need to understand that they have to get involved in the different committees, the different organizations and groups. And I know you're very active on the apparatus side of things with different organizations, and I know that's important to you. And that's how you build community. And then it's understanding that the customer, you want to educate the customer where the customer is. Take the friction out of the system and give the customer what they need on the channels that they want. And, audacity goes a long way in this industry where people think that the customer is going to follow them wherever, and they're not. They're just not. You need to go to the customer. And I think from the first conversation you and I had on this project to where we are today with the launch of the calendar this year, with January being released, February is coming right up behind it. It's exciting. And I think that it's a testament to who you guys are, the type of dealer you are, the commitment you have to your current customers and hopefully potential customers down the road, as well as the national stage. I mean, you guys are setting yourself up as a premier dealer across the country that's rolling out a marketing and media model that many should follow.
Yeah, we're excited. New Jersey is a small but mighty state, and we're excited to be able to have the opportunity to partner with you guys. Thankfully you're local, so that really helps too. But I think that what's exciting is that every truck every month is completely different than the last. So you're going to have a completely different conversation, completely different, between behind the build, behind the department. It's going to be fresh from month to month. But we're excited, for being a small state. I think I think this conversation hasn't been had yet. I think there's a lot about how individual firefighters from whatever rank they are operate and a little bit more about the department, but it doesn't really get into the nuts and bolts before from what I've seen about, how a rig is built and why it's built that way and how the department relates to the fleet. So I think it's an important conversation. I mean, we always are very respectful and proud of the fact that departments partner with us on potentially one of the most expensive projects they're ever going to do in their, in a firefighter's career. So for us, like we take that very seriously. Our reps have been thankfully, in this industry for a long time. They're experts in the industry and they care. As all of our reps, they're really passionate about building, the trucks that these departments need. So That's what we're there for. So for our reps to even have additional resources to, if Eric Trevina is talking to a department and he's like, hey, I think there's actually something on this rig that is not anywhere near you in the state, but I think that there's something there you should look at. That, that's a win for us.
The only way people are going to know is if we educate, right?
Exactly.
And so what you don't know. And so you have to get outside of your bubble. You have to see what's out there. You guys are offering that though. You are bringing all of this information under one package. Go to the calendar, scan the QR code. It takes you to a landing page. It takes you to the different videos, long form, short form, as well as still photos. Plus you're going to be running campaigns every single month around each truck on different channels of delivery. Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, it's going to be TikTok, you have YouTube where the
Yeah,
long form is. So like it's a campaign that's going to deliver a lot of information each month, and it's exciting to watch. I'm very proud of this project. I'm proud to be a part of it. I thank you guys, you and Dave, for considering National Fire Radio as a partner on this project. It's been a great project. And in fact, we're still doing content as we go, as the year continues on, to build out the back end of the calendar. I will tell you this has been a lot of fun. This project's taken us across the state of New Jersey, documenting different apparatus, meeting different departments, department heads, guys and girls that are running on these trucks. It's been a lot of fun. I thank you, Ashley, for the trust that you've put into us to deliver this project. It's been a lot of fun. And that's why I wanted to get you on. Not only that, I mean, the calendar's fun, but also our friendship too, and our professional relationship that we have as well. We've worked on several projects together now, committee here, a couple meetings, things like that. And it's just been a lot of fun. And our paths are crossing. With your husband being a career firefighter, our paths cross. And you have a good taste for food and drink, which I do as well. And so we have crossed paths many times there too. But I just wanted to say thank you. I appreciate your friendship. I appreciate Fire and Safety's belief in National Fire Radio for delivering such an important project on your 60th anniversary. Couple last things. Where can people find this project? Any last thoughts? Anything else you want to convey?
Well, one, we want to say thank you to you. So, for us to put out this type of project at the level that we wanted to accomplish, there was really nobody else on the table. No other name or group was mentioned. We just trust that you guys make us look good and tell the story the way we want to tell it. You and Seb just get it. So that makes our lives easier, because it is a lot of work. The calendar in itself was a beast of a project. So for this, I can kind of just trust that visually you guys are going to bring it all together. So, thank you. We are really so grateful, and we're excited to see even what comes still. But so basically, everybody can find all the content in one place on our website at f-ss.com. So in our main menu, we have 2024 calendar, and there's a drop down there that says NFR partnership. And that's basically where everything is going to live. All the still shots, all the long form videos. And then thankfully we have clips that we'll be distributing on our channels. So at Fire and Safety NJ, you can find us at Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube, Threads. I don't know, whatever else comes out tomorrow, I'm sure we'll be on it, but we're putting it out everywhere. We're proud of it. We're proud of everything that we've been doing. So we're excited about it. We think that it's an important conversation happening. So we're putting it out there wherever we can.
Yeah, and I think the other thing too, Ashley, it should be said that the calendars are being distributed to departments, your current customers across the state. But the calendars are also available to anybody that wants them. They're on the website for sale at a very reasonable price, where you can go in, put it in your shopping cart, order one. It's going to give you a wall calendar with your work schedules, holiday schedules, information, the QR codes on it as well, along with 12 months of incredible photos and landing pages that accompany that on the digital side.
Yeah, so we ordered a selection of calendars that can be sold for $27.95. That includes shipping and sales tax. They're a real robust calendar, and if it's a weekday, we basically ship it out the same day. So, there's still plenty of year to celebrate with us and follow along as you're watching this content, to really have this calendar behind you as you're watching these videos and this everything online.
Yeah, and the fun part is we're supporting this project throughout the year with you. So it's a campaign that we're working on together. This is obviously an introduction on the podcast series, and we'll clip this up for social. But as the conversation goes each month, we're going to be talking about each truck on the podcast channel too, as well as running some advertisements and things too to make sure that people are aware of the project. and what it is. So again, thank you for making us a part of it. I truly appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun. We still have a lot of work to do to, come to completion for December of 24. 12 great months, 12 great builds, unique builds too. Everything's a little bit different. And the storytelling behind it is what really sets this project apart. So it's not just a calendar, it's a digital footprint with a lot of information built in to help give you the information on these unique builds. So Ashley Ross, thank you very much for joining me today on the show. I appreciate you as always. I appreciate our friendship.
Yeah.
I wish you guys nothing but unbelievable success in 2024. 60 years in the business. Congratulations on the anniversary, and look forward to seeing you in person very soon.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thanks for joining me. Guys, thanks for tuning in. Do me a favor, run over and check out Fire and Safety Services, the Pierce dealer out of New Jersey, this incredible project we've been talking about for the last 30 minutes about what they're doing, bringing the tips, tricks, and hacks of how their customers are building apparatus, bringing it to the national stage so that you can reference the storytelling and information behind the builds so that you can form your own opinions and be a better consumer when buying an apparatus. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you at the next one. Jeremy, National Fire Radio. National Fire Radio.